Welcome to aminacademy.com. Let us discuss about life stories of scientists, and that we'll discuss about Wright brothers. Wilbur Wright and Orville Wright were US inventors who achieved their first powered, sustained, and controlled airplane flight. The brothers first worked in the printing machinery design and later in bicycle manufacturing, which financed their early experiments in airplane design. To test flight control essential to successful powered flight, they built and flew three bi- biplane gliders in 1900. Propeller and engine innovations led to their first powered aeroplane, which Orville flew successfully for 12 seconds, and Wilbur later flew for 59 seconds at Killdevil Hills, NC. Village near to Kitty Hawk on December 1903. Their flyer of 1905 could turn back, circle, and remain airborne for over 35 minutes. They demonstrated their planes in Europe and the US. In 1908, Wilbur gave over 100 exhibition flights in France, setting a duration record of 2 hours and 20 minutes. They established an aircraft company and produced plans for the US Army. After Wilbur's death from typhoid, Orville sold him interest in the company, which later merged with the company of Glenn H. Curtis. Let us discuss some details about Wright brothers. Wright brothers Wilbur and Orville were American inventors who made the first successful flight in a powered aeroplane in 1903. Early life. Wilbur was born in 1867 near Millville, Indiana. Orville born in 1871 in Dayton, Ohio. Neither brother furnished high school. Flight. The Wright brothers spent 4 years developing their plane starting in 1899. On December 17, 1903, Orville piloted the first flight of the Wright Flyer, which lasted 12 seconds and covered 120 feet. The flight took place in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Later life. Wilbur died of typhoid before fever in 1912 at the age of 45. Orville survived Wilbur by 36 years, dying in 1948. Other facts. The brothers never married. They once printed a daily newspaper together, and a toy inspired their interest in flying. Wright brothers were American inventors and aviation pioneers who achieved the first powered, sustained, and controlled airplane flight in 1903. Wilbur Wright, near Millville, Indiana, US, May 30 and 1912, Dayton, Ohio, and his brother Orville Wright, born August 19, 1871, Dayton, January 30, 1948, Dayton, and he died. Also built and flew the first fully practical airplane in 1905. Now let us discuss some interesting fact about Wright brothers. Taking flight with the Wright brothers. Find out how these inspiring aviators took to the skies. It's a chilly, breezy day in December 1903. Wilbur Wright stands on the beach in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, starting at the sky above him. Soaring overhead in an airplane is his brother Orville. He is in the middle of the world's first successful piloted engine powered an aeroplane flight. Today, the Wright brothers are remembered as innovative engineers, and their history making flight inspired generation of future flyers. Orville Wright made the world's first successful piloted engine-powered airplane flight. Wilbur Wright wrote a letter to the Smithsonian Institution of Washington, D.C., requesting information about the aeronautics to help him and Orville with her aircraft designs. The Wright brothers were interested in flying from young age. As children in Dayton, Ohio, their favorite toy was a small helicopter-like object that was powered by a rubber band and twirled its blades. Fascinated by the toy and its machines, the brothers hoped to one day build a flying machine big enough to hold them both. Before experiencing with airplane, the Wright brothers ran a bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio. As young men, the brothers went into business together, first operating a printing press, then a bicycle repair shop. Eventually, the duo began selling their own custom-made bicycle to customers. But the brothers never lost their love of flying. At the time, other aircraft such as gliders or aircraft without engines did exist, but the Wright wanted to add more power to the object they were flying. In 1899, the brothers began experimenting with building their own aircraft, up and away. In 1900, the brothers traveled from Ohio to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina to begin their flight experiments. The oceanside dunes at Kitty Hawk and regular breezes and soft, sandy landing surfaces perfect for their studies. The brothers fly first conducted tests with kites before experimenting with gliders. Both Arville and Wilbur separately piloted the gliders during their testing process. Wilbur Wright and an identified friend assist Orville as he pilots a glider. In 1903, the brothers built an airplane called the Wright Flyer 1, which featured wooden propellers and the men had designed and carved themselves. The plane also had a gasoline engine. After weeks of successful attempts, the craft with extra fabric incorporated to increase the stiffness on the wings took flight for 12 seconds on December 17, 1903, traveling 120 feet before landing. The plan worked, but brothers flew the craft a few more times that day. They had flown the world's first successful piloted engine-powered aeroplane. Wilbur Wright observes as his brother Orville prepares to take off on his famous first flight. Wings of change. After their success in North Carolina, the Wright brothers continued to travel around the world, perfecting their craft and modifying their design, but they did so much more, kicking off the era of modern aviation and inspiring future adventures. Yeah, first a bicycle built by the Wright brothers, this one. The decades following Kitty Hawk were filled with accomplishment in aviation, including the first solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean and the first passenger flight. And of course, flight did not just stay in this world. A little over 65 years after the Wright's famous first flight, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. The Wright brothers did not just fly the first piloted engine-powered airplane, they created a whole new way for us to explore our world. It's a chilly, breezy day in December 1903. Wilbur Wright stands on the beach in the Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, starting at the sky above him, soaring overhead in an airplane. In his brother Orville is in the middle of the world's first successful piloted engine powered airplane flight. Today, the Wright brothers are remembered as innovative engineers, and their history making flight inspired generations of future flyers growing up right. The Wright brothers were interested in flying from a young age. As children in Dayton, Ohio. Their favorite toy was a small helicopter like object that was powered by a rubber band to twill its blade. Fascinated by the toy and its mechanics, the brothers hoped to one day build a flying machine big enough to hold them both. As young men, the brothers went to business together, first operating a printing press, then a bicycle repair shop. Eventually, the duo began selling their own custom made bicycles to customers. But the brothers never lost their love of flying. In 1900, the brothers traveled from Ohio to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, to begin their flight experiments. The oceanside dunes at Kitty Hawk had regular breezes and soft, steady landing surfaces perfect for their studies. Wings of change. After their success in North Carolina, the Wright brothers continued to travel around the world, perfecting their craft and modifying their designs, but they did so much more, kicking off the era of modern aviation and inspiring future adventures. So far, we discussed about the interesting fact about Wright brothers. If you have done, please subscribe our YouTube channel.